it will never be the same again. I guess here goes me having fun with Grand Theft Auto. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage and Free Guy is finally coming to theaters after it has been delayed for more than a year because of the pandemic. It's an American science fiction action comedy romance that was directed by Shawn Levy and written by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. And I think it's a good example for why I think that the best video game movies are the ones that aren't actually directly based on real existing games. Movies like Wreck-It Ralph, Ready Player One, or even Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle or Edge of Tomorrow. Movies that don't have to stick to a particular video game story or its characters, but are able to play with that medium's own unique characteristics. And Free Guy does exactly that. It stars Ryan Reynolds as the title character Guy, a simple bank teller with a pretty ordinary life. Only that he's no simple bank teller in the real world, but an NPC, a non-player character in a giant and immensely popular fictitious video game called Free City. As an NPC he's part of the game, part of the code, and therefore AI. Free Guy is a so-called high-concept film, and the basic premise is this: what happens if such a character develops a consciousness of his own and finds out about his true nature? If you have been following my channel, you might know that I like to describe new movies as mixtures of already existing older ones, and with this one there are instantly a dozen that come to mind. Besides the already mentioned Wreck-It Ralph and Ready Player One, there's actually a lot of The Truman Show in Free Guy. There's also a good amount of The Lego Movie, and Guy's good-hearted nature isn't far off from Emmett's. Of course, you could also name The Matrix, Dark City or The 13th Floor because of the whole simulation aspect, though all three are tonally completely different. And I also thought about John Carpenter's They Live, and if only because it's also a pair of sunglasses that reveals the truth to Guy. Because the people in Free City are divided into the ones with and the ones without sunglasses. The ones that are AI and populate the game, and the ones that are actually playing it. And in this game, playing means very much wreaking havoc, because Free City is very much inspired from the Grand Theft Auto franchise, that gives the players an enormous freedom to do whatever they like in this big sandbox-like virtual city, which is more often than not robbing banks, shooting people, crashing cars and flying around. As a gamer myself, I found myself right at home, and while Free Guy obviously takes a lot of liberties in the way games are programmed and functioning, it nevertheless is a pretty fresh and original concept for a movie that finds a very strange balance between sometimes crude and outlandish and very zeitgeisty humor on one hand, and on the other, really quite whimsical romantic moments. It's very commercial, broad and crass in tone, but hey, it's also not based on any pre-existing material and something fresh and new. And while I wasn't completely on board with all of its humor, some of it just wasn't really my taste, I still think that Free Guy is a very interesting and unique mix of flavors, and it tells a pretty cool story. How the story progresses is really not that surprising, but surprisingly it does actually have a lot of heart, and it's almost like a romantic movie that's coming along in the guise of an action comedy. Our two other main characters are Millie, aka Molotov Girl in the world of Free City, played by Jodie Comer, and Keith, played by Joe Keery. Two game designers who wanted to create this groundbreaking new experience before things went differently. Now, Keith is working for the big company that's behind Free City, while Millie is playing the game to prove that they have stolen something from them. And they means the CEO of the Free City company and Keith's boss, Antoine, played by Taika Waititi, who is having the time of his life. He's so wonderfully evil and full of himself, and it's just a lot of fun, as is the entire film. But what elevates it above just a mindless feel-good summer blockbuster is that the characters are actually quite endearing, and that under all that shiny, glossy surface, there actually are some deeper themes and existential questions. And all three protagonists, Guy, Millie and Keith, are just very relatable. It's about the everyday man who wants to break the shackles of society. It's about breaking free, following your dreams and staying true to your ideals. It's inspiring and it has some really sweet moments, like the whole relationship between Guy and his best friend Buddy, or the nice chemistry between Ryan Reynolds and Jodie Comer. And like I already said, Free Guy might actually be a romantic comedy at heart, and it's a really sweet and funny one. And again, it's a pretty weird mixture of some raunchier jokes and this really whimsical tone, but it somehow works. I ended up having a lovely time with the movie. Not all the jokes land, and for my own taste some of its meta, zeitgeisty and reference heavy humor is a bit overdone and distracted me a little bit from the actual message and more innocent tone, but that's fine. As far as summer movies go, this one is a winner. So in German I'd say, Free Guy ist eine erfrischend lustige und herzliche romantische Komödie im Gewand einer durchgeknallten und überraschend cleveren Videospiel-Action-Klamotte. I give Free Guy 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.5, but I don't do that.
Nope! I can't die! I'm never gonna die!
Alright, that's it. Like always, comment below and let me know what you think about Free Guy. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd, and also on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.